Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Realty Podcast with Anthony Griffin, Keller Williams 1, Kim Mathis Associates, Greensboro, North Carolina. And today I wanted to come back with a seller focused podcast and talk. This one is actually titled Efforts Equal Returns. Some things that we've started to see in this market is because of the rates, buyers' demand is starting to change, and buyers are becoming a lot more concerned with the condition of the home, or the condition of major systems inside of the home or the roof and things along those lines. And it's completely understandable. With the massive rate change that we've seen over just this last 6 months, buyers have a lot less available income and available funds to be able to do things to homes after the fact. Just to give you guys some quick numbers on what all of that looks like and what it means, just to put it in a little bit of a perspective. Uh, Say you had an average home buyer who in January of this year, so January 2022, their interest rate was probably around 3.2%. And if they went to go purchase a $300,000 home, their monthly mortgage would be right around $1,300 a month, which doesn't sound bad at all. That same buyer today would be looking at an average interest rate of about 6.1 to 6.2%, which means that exact same home would have a monthly mortgage of about $1,800 a month, a difference of $500 a month. So that buyer who could have afforded that same home at $1,300 in January is now paying $1,800 a month for that home in June. Because of that, a lot of the discretionary income has gone away. A lot of buyers who were trying to reach into higher price points because the rates were so good that they found a way to make it work are suddenly creeping back into completely different price ranges than they had been looking for months on end, because they can no longer afford that purchase price that they had their heart set on. To put it in perspective, if somebody was looking at $350,000 to $400,000 back in January, that same buyer, because of the rates, is most likely looking in the low threes now. So they are not looking at the same size home. They're not looking at homes in the same area for that price point unless it's drastically different. Because of that, buyers are starting to get a little bit more worried about having to come out of pocket for additional things to be done to a home after sale, such as major system replacements, such as roof replacements. They're even starting to look at things as far as more full scale remodels. So beyond just your flooring and painting, but redoing the kitchen, redoing the bathrooms. Those are going to be start to be situations where buyers are going to have to make a decision on if they're willing to live with dated pieces inside of a home, or continue to use a system until its useful life is completely gone, or drop down in price so they can still afford to make those changes immediately. What that means for you as a seller is, over the last few years, because of price points, you've had the ability to put in relatively minimal effort, but still get substantial gains and substantial interest in your properties. And even if you haven't done anything to your home, you hadn't updated any of the bathrooms, say the carpets are 10 plus years old, you can't remember the last time you painted, and maybe you had a 7 to 10-year-old roof, you were still getting 15 and 20 offers. You were still getting way above listing price, and you were still getting all of the terms and conditions that you wanted on your close. Now, what we're going to start to see is those aggressive prices are still going to be there, but those aggressive prices are going to follow homes that have or sellers who have put in the maximum effort and shown their home in the absolute best light possible. So that top dollar is still going to be available, but it's going to go to those homes with the updated kitchens, the updated bathrooms, the updated appliances, newer roofs, newer systems and services like your HVAC system, your furnace, things along those lines. That's where the top dollar is going to go. So gone are the days where you could put your home on the market and not even have to worry about cleaning up and getting multiple offers in a day. Now, those buyers are going to be a little bit more concerned about what could be hiding behind that room that you can't actually walk around in. What could be hiding in that garage where you can't see the floor? What's going on with that attic that we don't really have access to? All of that is going to become a concern for today's home buyer because they don't have the additional out of pocket income to be able to fix the unforeseen. So they're going to want to make sure they get all of that taken care of or at least known up front. So treating recent comparable sales in your neighborhood over the last year or two, it was a situation where whatever the most recent sales were, it was almost looked at as a floor for what the next home in that neighborhood could go on the market for. For instance, if the most recent sale was for 275, the next home that came on the market was priced at 275, and then trying to get higher from there. What you're going to start to see now is it's going to be more so about how comparable was that home that recently sold? Is it similar square footage? Does it have the same number of beds and baths? Does it have the same number of garage spaces? How are the systems compared? Is it recently updated HVAC? Recently updated kitchens? Is it a new roof? Have they done the upgrades as far as the flooring and the paint? Things along those lines are going to carry a lot more weight. So while you might still see some homes that have minimal effort still being put at a high dollar sign in the market, those are going to be the homes that start to sit. And those are going to be the homes that start to see price reductions. So if you're asking, if you want to know if we're going to see prices start to get reduced in the marketplace, I believe we are. It's not going to be drastic and it's not going to be across the board. It is going to be very home specific. Those homes that didn't necessarily warrant the price that they started at are definitely not going to be warranting or receiving that price in this new market that we're entering into. However, those homes who command top dollar, who have all of the finishes, who have those updates, who have those things that buyers in this market are desiring, with it being majority turnkey, that's still going to command top dollar. So I'll say it one more time, efforts equal returns in this coming market. If you want that top dollar, you've got to be able to and you've got to be willing to put in that top effort. If you don't want to put in that top effort, it's going to be start to be time to adjust your pricing accordingly so that way you don't get left behind. The last thing you want to start to have happen is have a home sit on the market for too long, because right now in Greensboro area, our average days on market are still less than 7 days across the board. So that means homes that are sitting on the market for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month are starting to be looked at like there's something wrong with them. So starting at a super aggressive price that your property does not warrant will cause you to have to do price reductions and longer days on market, which means it will be looked at in a more negative light by buyers. So keep those things in mind when getting ready to put your home on the market. This does not mean that you need to make wholesale changes, but there does need to be a shift in the thought process in order to make sure you get the correct price and the correct value for your home for the effort that you're willing and able to put into it. So thank you so much, guys, for listening to this podcast. I look forward to talking to you next time. Have a great week.